Ladies and gentlemen, very privileged to have Jeffrey Slayter here, transformational coach for many amazing entrepreneurs around the world. I'm super excited today because we get a live interview with Jeffrey to check out his insights he's learned both from the jungle and his world in entrepreneurship. What I love about Jeffrey is he's really merging both the spiritual and the entrepreneurial world together as one, and that's obviously the Millionaire Monk. That's where our heart both lies, and that's why we have the opportunity today to connect at the Brotherhood for business for coaching for men, particularly conscious entrepreneurs, and it's been a fantastic day. So welcome, Jeffrey.
Thanks. It's a privilege to be here, and like you were saying, at Bridging Worlds, I know you've spent a lot of time in China, spending time with some incredible monks there, and diving deep into that deep work. And it's time that we bridge worlds, and we bring that business and the high-performing entrepreneurs together with the ancient wisdom. And we bring the ancient wisdom to today so we can build a better future. So It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. So the first question I want to shoot off for the audience is, what's the most important message that you feel is important right now to give to any entrepreneur that's out there to really awaken their heart or their soul to their sort of higher purpose to do better for humanity and for themselves as well?
I feel like the most important message is that there really is no message. Is the first message, and that our life is actually the message. So it's time that we make our life the message, and that we stop having messages and we become the message itself.
Wow, awesome, fantastic, cool. And conscious capitalism, like, where do you feel the movement is going in the next 10 years, and what do you feel are some of the maybe important trends to capitalize on, and where do you feel people should be focusing their attention? Obviously the now is the most important moment, but what do you feel are some of the future trends that some of the new entrepreneurs that are out there searching for what is the thing that I should do? What are some of the industries that you should be looking out for?
Well, the thing is the currency of the future, as we all know, this whole fiat currency one day will fall. It's just a matter of when. And so what's the next currency? And it feels like the next currency of the future is wisdom and food and friends and family. And so if you want to get rich, quote, then maybe find out where the world is going and get there first. And where the world is going is a conscious world where we put our attention on ourselves and growing ourselves first, and then we bring out businesses that honor ourselves and honor our human family and honor the planet and work in a symbiotic relationship with the earth, versus what's going to become obsolete is to keep stripping away and separating ourselves from the earth and separating business from the earth and profits from people. It's all going to become obsolete.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that's really, really important. And some of the great things that Jeffrey's touched on over the last 2 days is, really connecting your heart to the message of your own life. So I really resonated with that a lot. Jeffrey, for some of the entrepreneurs that are out there that may be facing the fear of getting started or being seen, and you've got these great entrepreneurs that, or great, let's just call them like the cool hippies, the
Sure.
people who've got these great ideas, they really care about the planet, they really care about change. What's some of the best advice that you can give them to help them take their beautiful skills into the business world and actually profit and get them going on their path?
Well, the thing is the quote hippies, they've discovered some incredible things, which is living in alignment with the earth and things like that. The thing is the challenge is that they can, to make the system and the wrong or the enemy, they become busy fighting the system instead of, like Buckminster Fuller says, is to make something new. So perhaps it's time to make something new. And there's lots to learn from the Western world, which is deadlines, getting things done, building something. It's okay to do business. It's okay to make money, and let's channel that money towards conscious things.
Yeah, awesome, absolutely awesome. So I love the point about rather than fighting the system, surrender to it and look about what
make something new.
Can be. Yeah, awesome. And on the other side of the spectrum, business people and entrepreneurs that maybe are in the Western world, they've made $1 million, they've made quite a lot of money, and then they realize that their soul is being torn up in that, and they're stressed out, they're tired, they're disconnected. What's some of the best advice that you can give them to basically get them back into flow and maybe channel their energy into a different business or change the business that they're in to be more in line with like a healthier lifestyle or a lifestyle that they want to create for themselves?
Yeah, I work a lot with high-performing entrepreneurs, and one of my favorite things to do is take high-performing entrepreneurs to the jungles of Peru. I wrote a book on it called Evolutionary Entrepreneur, where you take, billionaires and industry icons to the jungles to reconnect to their true nature. And what I've seen through those experiences is a total stripping away of the cultural programming. So of everything we were taught, who we are as a human family, the history of the human family, what's important. You know, we didn't come here to have a white picket fence and a nice car. And once you get it, you don't really care. What matters is you enjoy your life and you feel fulfilled. Ultimately, achievement's kind of like not all it's cracked up to be. Achievement can be blinding in a way, and there's a world beyond achievement. So I think now we are finding those worlds, and the high performing entrepreneurs right now, they are finding the world beyond achievement, and they're finding it by stripping away everything they thought achievement was and everything that they were told success is, and go back to the original premise of what it is to be a human being. And to be a human being is to be self-aware and to have empathy, and to realize our symbiotic relationship with ourselves and everything around us. So as we develop more self-awareness, we develop more empathy. And what I've seen with spending time in the jungles with entrepreneurs and some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world, what I've seen is that they develop more empathy for themselves, their employees, and then with more empathy, their engagement of their staff goes up, and then essentially retention goes up and profits go up.
Wow, yeah, I love that. So it's kind of like how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely awesome. So I'm really curious about, you took basically the highest level entrepreneurs into the jungle, from like billionaires and some of the most amazing.
Not all of them. There's 1,600 or so of them. Still have a little more work to do, but some of them, yeah.
Yeah. What's some of the insights that you've taken, people on the highest level spectrum of wealth creation, and then taking them into the jungle? What are some of the insights that you gathered, or what are some of the insights that they really gained out of that process that particularly stood out to you, that you're like, wow, this is what the world is required of me. My purpose here is to get, what are some of the insights that you noticed, and what do you feel, and why do you feel that is important, that journey?
Well, I noticed that they're just like us, just like people. It's like, just because you made $1 million or $1 billion doesn't, you're not above or below anybody else, and so the human. And that was an interesting experience. The thing that I most commonly notice is that what they end up realizing is that it's like, like greyhound dogs, they race.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of greyhound racing, but essentially what happens is there's a little metal rabbit, and this metal rabbit runs around and the greyhounds chase it. And then every once in a while, it's rare, but one of the greyhounds will reach the rabbit. And then that greyhound bites the rabbit, and then it bites that rabbit, and the greyhound realizes it's metal. Achievement, success, according to mainstream Western culture, is kind of like a metal rabbit. Then that greyhound will go back and tell all the other rabbits that it's a metal rabbit. Go tell all the other greyhounds that it's a metal rabbit, and the other greyhounds look at them like they're crazy. But what's interesting is that greyhound that bit the metal rabbit then doesn't have a choice anymore but to go inward, because everything outside of themselves is no longer an option. And the people that are worth billions, they've exhausted all external options, and they must go inward. So when they take the inward journey, what I notice happens is they reconnect to the guiding mind, which is their heart, and then they develop more empathy, and then they end up realizing that if they hurt the earth or hurt others, they are hurting themselves. And that is the common thing that I notice across the board, is a humbling of themselves.
Wow, that is phenomenal. And what's really awesome at the moment is we see this rise of feminine consciousness that is taking place in the world, which is absolutely beautiful, and it's good to see. But then what we both have discovered as well is there's an awakening of the divine masculine as well. Could you talk a little bit about maybe both of those roles and how they're important to play as a team in the entrepreneurial world, and why you feel it's also important for humanity moving forward so we can evolve our consciousness?
Yeah, the thing is anything I share is my own personal journey, and people can take or leave whatever they'd like. It's really important that people know that as sovereign beings, that people can choose their own reality, and these are just my opinions on my life path, and they can take or leave it, and ultimately I want them to. So what I've noticed with the divine masculine, or just say stripping away the synthetic masculine, going back to the divine masculine, is that we as men have been told that we have to not share our feelings, not talk really, be tough and have it all together, and that we're like lone rangers, when really that's all BS. And actually, we as men, we have to stop looking at what separates us and look at what actually unifies us. And what unifies us is we really love the earth, we love our families, we want peace on this planet, and when we can unify and come together, we rebirth a sense of camaraderie again. And then we're no longer looking for camaraderie in violence. We're looking for camaraderie as a unit, as a brotherhood, as brotherhood really for peace on this planet. And then we develop the peace within ourselves. And it's okay to talk about our feelings. It's okay to break down every once in a while. And over 150 Aussie men kill themselves every single month. And that's a lack of brotherhoods. It's a lack of friendships around, and that's due to a lack of. That's actually due to a lack of connection with self. And the plants and the jungles and experiences like yours, where you're in China in caves and cool stuff like that sometimes is initiation, and we need to bring back initiation into our life. And the stripping away of the synthetic masculine, going back to the original, to organic masculine, is really important. Now, how does it affect the feminine? We go back to actually being supportive of the feminine and divine feminine. The feminine, what I've learned is the feminine is extremely powerful. It's actually a force to be reckoned with. It cuts through rock. And when the feminine, and there is a synthetic feminine, and that synthetic feminine is also being stripped away. And what's actually going on is, through the rise of the organic feminine, the divine feminine, the masculine can then rise too, and together we come together and we dissolve the boundaries. But I will share with you, the feminine is more powerful than the masculine, but not like a hierarchy. It just is, because we're on a planetary body called Earth, and she's a woman.
Yeah, I love that. In Taoism, they say soft will always overcome hard. You know what
Always,
I mean? Yin is the root of yang. That's beautiful. Some amazing pieces in there. So, moving forward, what do you feel is your biggest aspiration or hope, your biggest wish for the entrepreneurs that are out there? What is the one thing that you just wish that if they're listening right now, what is the one thing that you just wish they would awaken up to and get for themselves, so they can help this movement of consciousness and basically, because we're on the bridge of possibly another war, I mean? And that really is sad to see, and people are waking up everywhere, but there's still people that are like on the edge of that cliff or getting close to it. What would you say to those people to wake up and jump and dive in? What would be that piece of advice or that thing or that experience that they could do to take on that initiation as a male or a female, or that particular thing that they can do in their life to make that leap and actually be the change in the world?
Well, I used to want to save the world, and now I've realized that the world seems to be saving me. And so I also used to want to go out and I had to change everyone's life, when actually that was just distracting me from changing my own life. And when I change my own life and I shift my own life and I transform my own life, naturally everyone around me seems to change. It's almost like we co-create this reality, and that the keys to a new world is to develop peace within ourselves. I once was at a talk with the Dalai Lama, and somebody asked the question, how do you stop nuclear war? And he said, first start by disarming yourself. So when we disarm ourselves, then we disarm the nuclear potential. And the term Armageddon is a term that has been used to instill fear in us, when actually the etymology of Armageddon is to start a new beginning. So we as the entrepreneurs out there, and men and women, are sitting on the precipice of a new beginning for humanity. And people like you and me and others that are listening to this are those change makers that are the ones that hold many of the codes and the embodiment of peace on this planet.
That's right, and I just got to back that up. Like, if you get an opportunity to work with someone like Jeffrey or myself, who's done the deep work, in the jungle and the caves and with Nasser.
Jungles and caves.
Yeah, caves.
Bring the jungles and the caves together.
It's that which will activate something inside of you that no book will give you. That
direct experience.
Direct experience. So I think that's just phenomenal. It's been great. So one thing that what is the big pain barrier, the thing that you essentially that you wish people would would really, really get, like, the thing that's basically, that just frustrates you the most about the world right now. So the listeners out there can go, okay, this is the dream, but this is also the pain point. So they can move away from that and move towards the light, essentially.
I feel that that I used to be really frustrated that I wish people would just wake up. Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to wake up. And I realized that was my own frustration with myself. And I've become a lot easier on myself and fall in love with the parts of me I love the least. And so for me, when I'm dealing with that frustration, it's actually my own frustration projecting on them. That's their journey. If they want to live on a synthetic timeline and have their own journey of distractions from their soul's journey and chemicals in their food and war and famine, they can have that. It's just I get to choose my reality. I get to either live in resonance with that or I live out of phase. And just because there's a dog whistle blowing and you can't hear it doesn't mean it's not being blown. So essentially, we choose our vibration as a human being. Now you can call me crazy or whatever about that, but actually what's interesting is that we only see 1/10 of a billionth of the entire light spectrum that the human being sees. 1/10 of a billionth. What I've learned from spending time from incredible men and women that are connected to the jungles and connected to the earth is that there's far more going on than we feel. And for us as human beings, my first most humbling experience is that nobody has control of what's going on. Nobody. And nobody has the final answer and the ultimate truth. Everyone's doing their part to stay true to themselves. So all we can do is stay true to our own soul's journey and honor our soul's journey. And so I'm here to honor my journey. And the best advice I ever received from somebody was and it wasn't even advice, I just once met somebody that actually loved themselves so much, it gave me permission to do the same myself.
Wow, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you've enjoyed this powerful little interview. We've covered lots of different concepts from masculinity, femininity, entrepreneurship, humanity. It's been absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much, Jeffrey Slayter. Jeffrey, for the audience, where can they check you out? Obviously, you've got an amazing podcast. That's probably a good place to start.
They go to the Jeffrey Slayter Show. The Jeffrey Slayter Show. I have all kinds of incredible interviews as well. And they can check out the book, The Evolutionary Entrepreneur, and just go to town and connect with people like you. I know you have a free download where people can learn about your stuff too. There's so much incredible information out there. People are sitting on the opportunity after opportunity, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cool.